Good day and welcome to Transformation Tuesday. Glad you are here. So let me ask you, have you ever not known what the right action was in a situation, and then you decided to ask a friend that always seems to know what to do in any given situation, what they would do, and then you followed your friend's opinion only to realize that the decision on the matter would have been a different right action for you? Has that ever happened to you? If so, you could put right action in the comments. Welcome to Transformation Tuesday with me, Liz Forrest. Please say hi in the comments if you're with me here live. And if you're watching the replay later, you can type replay in the comments. You know, I always love to know who is joining me, either live or later in the replay. I am a master shamanic teacher of over 25 years. I've been sharing Toltec wisdom, practices, tools, empowering the people that sit with me to embrace a vibrant, fulfilling life and leave behind all the trappings of beliefs and agreements that don't fit, that don't serve them anymore, and that they don't serve. I've been incredibly blessed to learn from some of the most powerful teachers, in my opinion, over my years, 25 to 30 years, with Don Miguel Ruiz and Bernadette Vigil and Don Valentin Cervantes in Mexico at the home of the Toltecs, the pyramids of Teotihuacan. Hey Nona, great to see you, lovely to be with you too. Thanks for joining. Okay, so let's talk about the first 5. You know, I always like to go over what we've already learned. It helps kind of anchor and just keep building our foundation of these guidelines. I really feel like they're guidelines. These practices, they help to up-level our vibration, our consciousness. They create a pathway back to our heart center, to our integrity. There's so much distortion, hey, and fog in our day-to-day life of living here in the dream of the planet, which is what the Toltecs call our reality here. And it can really throw us into, you know, a lot of chaos sometimes, or at least confusion. So these 11 practices that come from my training on the Toltec path have always been like guideposts for me. They just bring me back to, okay, what is true for me and what's the right action here for me? Yeah. So I'm going to go over briefly what I've already been talking about in the last few weeks. And if you missed any of my videos, Transformation Tuesdays are all right here. In Loving Transformation, I leave the replays up. They're on my page, Toltec Teachings with Liz Forrest. You can also find them in my YouTube channel. All right. So the first one that we talked about was awareness. Awareness. That's where we start. Deepening your awareness of how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. Really, when you distill it all down, how you treat yourself. Awareness of how you treat your precious self. That's the first one. The second one we talked about, discipline. And that discipline equates action. You taking action. It's the action that supports the changes you want to make in your life for your highest good. To step out of whatever unhappiness or unfulfillment that you might be suffering. Discipline. And the third one, this is big. They're all big, but this one can be so habitual. Refraining from self-judgment. Self-judgment, non-judgment, relating to self, self-judgment. The ways you might criticize yourself, take yourself down, be unkind, all of those things. Yeah, refraining is a depletion of your energy. The fourth spiritual practice we talked about a couple of weeks ago is respect. So the first 3 guide us to respect. Yeah, for ourselves. The kind of respect here involves all the first ones that we've been talking about. Awareness of each moment, disciplining yourself to not abandon yourself, to keep going with what you are manifesting in your life, no matter what. Yeah, no matter what. And refraining from judgment. And just knowing that choosing a different action next time holds a better result, instead of judging yourself for whatever you might have done or not done in the moment. The fifth spiritual practice that we talked about last week, and really, I know I said it before, I'm going to say it again, this is really one of my favorites, and it is patience. 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 I really love this practice because it teaches us to be kind and gentle with ourself. It's a great gift to allow yourself time and space to integrate the changes you're making in your life, to align at the exact right moment for your highest good, not at the moment maybe of your expectation of when it should happen, how it should happen, what it's going to look like when it shows up. Patience allows integration time and that perfect alignment for what it is that you are changing, your growth, evolution, manifestation, all the things that us conscious people who walk spiritual paths are being present to in ourselves. Okay, so now let's bring on the spiritual practice for personal growth based in Toltec wisdom. This is number 6. Trust. Trust. I hope you appreciate my very elementary cards here that I made myself. It helps to bring it in when we see it visually, okay, instead of just hearing it. Yeah, helps to bring it into our brains, into our awareness, to see it as well as hear it. So trust. Okay, so what we all know that word, and we all experience trust in ourselves, trust in other people, maybe trust in different things. What we're talking about here is the trust for the spiritual warrior is a little bit different than what you might have learned in your domestication about trust, our domestication, our programming, how we were raised, what we were taught about trust. So that's what I like to share. So it's different for a spiritual warrior because trust means that first let's just go back a little bit. We're all taught certain rules, right, that defines our experience of trust as we're growing up. And we learn that if we follow those rules, if we stay in those parameters of those rules that someone else has created, I just want to put that in there, that someone else has created, that then we had trust. But what if some of those rules were not your truth? What if you did not stay in the defined parameters of what someone else deemed trustworthy because it wasn't true for you? There's lots of examples of this in partnerships, in marriages, in politics, in environmental issues. There's many examples of what I'm talking about. If in the Dream of the Planet, if we just look out for a minute. Yeah, different ways to define what trust is. And some of them, of course, very valuable. Yeah, some of them very valuable, and we want to take them on. But what if those parameters and those rules are not your truth? So this teaching is a little bit different because what we're talking about in this way, trust is about being fully present with yourself. I'm going to say that again. Trust is about being fully present for yourself. Walking a spiritual path means you've chosen to be an apprentice to yourself, to Creator, to God, to Source, however you talk about that with yourself, to the universe. You're apprenticing to yourself to be the best you can be, to walk in a very high level of vibration and integrity. And as a spiritual warrior, you take flight into trust like no other. This way of trusting is not about the rules that you may have learned in your domestication. It's about trusting yourself. It's about trusting your inner voice, your true self within you. And sometimes trusting yourself in that way means breaking the rules. I know that's sure been true for me multiple times in my life. Breaking the rules. And that might seem scary at first, right? If you're with me, has that ever happened for you? Does that feel scary if you break the rules? You don't go along with what someone else has decided is trusting, is trustworthy. Trust is knowing that you'll be guided and that surrendering to that guidance within you is part of being awake, even if it's scary at first, rather than following something that you know is not your truth. It's honoring you. It's honoring that voice inside you that is guiding you in a maybe different direction. Yeah, it's been my experience that it becomes less and less frightening the more I have practiced that surrender to my own trust in myself for what is right for me. And it's brought me some of the biggest and most magical times of my life when I've done that. We've all heard the saying, how does it go? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah, this is trust yourself no matter what is going on around you, to honor your own truth and walk in that way and see what happens. Yeah, see what happens. For me, it's brought me some of the biggest and most magical times of my life. So I'd like to give you 4 guidelines to practice. When you find yourself questioning your truth, when you're not sure about, fully trusting your truth in yourself, whatever information is coming, whatever your inner voice, whatever your guides are offering up for you, I'm going to offer you 4 practices, 4 more guidelines under this trust practice. So the first one is self-compassion. Give yourself compassion. Yeah, give yourself compassion for whatever it is that might be challenging you in the moment, to trust yourself. And embrace your vulnerability. That's number 2. Embrace your vulnerability. Don't run from your vulnerability. It's going to give you so much information. So you embrace your vulnerability as you move through whatever it is that's up in your life presently. And number 3 is set conscious boundaries. Conscious boundaries. I do a big teaching and practice around boundaries because there's a couple kinds of boundaries. Here we're talking about conscious boundaries, and those are the ones that you set for yourself, for your well-being, for your highest good. Those are the ones I'm talking about, conscious boundaries. And the 4th one is to express your truth authentically, no matter what. In word or action, express your truth. So I'll say those again. First one, self-compassion. Offer yourself compassion like you would offer it to your best friend. Embrace your vulnerability. Set conscious boundaries and express your truth, no matter what. And that can be in word or action. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here with me to hear about the 6th spiritual guideline. And I encourage you to bring those 4 steps into your awareness as you take flight into trusting your authentic truth. Yeah, really implement those 4 as you begin to trust yourself more and more and more, till there's never a question about trusting you. Okay, and last week I said I would be sharing an exciting announcement, and I would love to do that now. If that's okay with you, you could say yes in the comments. So, as some of you may know, I co-founded the Kiva of Salt Spring Island, which was a Toltec center on the west coast of British Columbia, on an island off the coast of Vancouver. it was a Toltec center. We had transformative classes and ceremonies and workshops, and a whole lot of things happened there. Really an incredible chapter in my life from 2005 to 2015. And I travel a couple of times still to Salt Spring Island. It's really another of my heart homes, absolutely. I was there for 26 years. And I have ongoing classes that have continued for all this time, and new classes. And I go there a couple times a year to teach in person, because now we can. And so I'm really excited to tell you that I've also decided to hold a one-day workshop there in July, because I'm going up for a few weeks to the coast. And so I'm really excited to tell you about this workshop. It's a one-day workshop so we can come together in community in person. In person. We're starting to meet again in person. Well, more than starting. But I haven't held open public workshop on Salt Spring for a long time. And that was what my inner voice was telling me to do, was it's time in person to connect, to learn, to share, to practice tools based in Toltec wisdom for alignment in your energy, in your life. And so I'm going to do that Sunday, July the 9th, and it's going to be from noon to 6. And I'm going to tell you more about the details, but first I'd really like to share what my ideas are and what you will receive coming to this workshop. I'm going to teach energy practices that teach how to reclaim, hold, and direct your energy. I'm also going to teach dreaming practices to uncover the message of your dream state. That's a powerful practice that we in our community have been doing for many years. So I'm going to teach part of that in that day. And I'm going to pass on tools to break free from limiting belief systems that are holding you back from your empowerment. And it's also a really fabulous opportunity to connect with others who are walking a path of consciousness and personal growth. There's a big community on Salt Spring. And then I thought how great it would be to have a meal together. And an island tradition that I love and miss, because it's not so popular here where I live in New Mexico, is to have a potluck dinner. A potluck dinner to come together and celebrate community and delicious food in person once again, to sit beside people and have conversations and share food and share what we are all learning as we walk our path. So whether you're already familiar with these teachings, or you're brand new to this ancient wisdom, I am welcoming everyone with open arms. And for you BCers, and maybe other people here with me that have traveled to the Gulf Islands off the coast of BC, it's an incredible place, and really it's the last of its kind in a lot of ways. It's beautiful. It's unique. Salt Spring is a place of healing and has been for I don't know how many years, many years. There's many healing centers there. And so for the BCers, so great. It's not that difficult to get to Salt Spring. I can help you out with details. And if you're not a BCer, it's a perfect opportunity to come and explore. Come and explore the island and also be part of an enlightened workshop and group of people and meet community and explore this gorgeous healing place. The day will be an enlightening and transformative experience. And in the workshop, my intent is to dive into the teachings of the Toltec wisdom, as brought forth by Don Miguel, by Bernadette Vigil, by my mentor in Mexico, Don Valentin, who has been to Salt Spring. We brought him out in 2017. So he's opened the energy door there in person. And so it's really incredible. And so whether you are already familiar, as I said, with these teachings, or they're a brand new experience for you, I welcome everybody. And it's going to be a really diverse and beautiful gathering of people. So you will be seeing, I'm going to send out and post here all the details of the information, but for now you can write it in your calendar. July 9th, Sunday, noon to 6. The cost is $177 Canadian for the 6 hours. And I'll ask you to bring a beautiful and delicious dish or some kind of contribution for food so we can share. I'm going to put my email in the comments for you right now. And in the next couple of days, the information will be up and we'll be going out my mailing list and also the registration link. I know this is going to fill. because as I've already said, it's been a long time since I've taught there in public. And so this is going to fill. So I really encourage you, once that registration link goes up, that you click on it and get your spot. And the details of where it's going to be held. It's going to be held in a hall right in Ganges. Yeah, so more to come. I'm going to put my email in the comments right now. And if you have any questions, you want to know more information about this incredible one-day event, you can just email me. We'll set up a meeting and I'll share all I can, answer all your questions. And again, I can help a little with ferries and different things because I lived there for a long time, so I'm really familiar with the logistics. Okay, that's my exciting news, and I hope you can get my excitement right through your screen because I'm so thrilled to be doing teachings again in person, and I can't wait to be with all of you again. So thank you for joining me. All my love to you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.